to Macey's Cooking Corner. I'm your host today. My name is Afua Daines, and we bring local cooks and chefs to create delicacies, meals, and beautiful snacks. Today we have the lovely Michelle Williamson, and she is going to create today peppered salad.
Pepper pasta.
Pepper pasta even.
Mm-hmm.
Hello
Yep.
and welcome.
Well, thanks.
So what are you going to start off creating?
So we're going to do the pepper pasta today. It's a classic Italian dish, actually from Italy. And sometimes you'll see it in jars. You can see like pepper, what do they call it? Red pepper sauce, something like that.
Yes, yes.
And on the earlier show, we did Alfredo sauce, which we talked
delicious.
how that was not even Italian.
Right.
Right?
Yes.
It's an American name for their bechamel with cheese sauce, right?
Uh-huh.
Today is the pepper pasta. It's really delicious, and I think you're going to enjoy it. So
Easy too. We like easy.
easy.
Yes.
It is easy. This one is easy. So we have bell peppers. They cannot be green bell peppers. I tried that.
Oh, why is that?
Because of the chlorophyll in the green pepper, and it will adversely flavor the pasta. You taste that chlorophyll.
You do, don't
now,
you?
which
That's
is
true.
not tasty in this case. So you have to use orange, yellow, red, whatever.
Okay.
So I just cut that
They're
pepper in
sweet,
half.
aren't they? They have
They
a
are.
milder taste.
They are, and they don't have that chlorophyll. So we want that. So I cut it in half. I pulled the seeds out, the little ribs on the inside, just clean it. If there's a few seeds left, like there's one right here, you don't worry about it. The seeds are not going to be a detractor. And in this case, unlike some of the other things that we make where you want to dice it perfectly,
Right.
this is just a rough chop into some
chunks.
big chunks. Yep, exactly.
Noticed that.
So what I'm going to have you do is, if you want to, cut and peel the onion that we have, yellow onion.
Now you know.
Oh, I
last
remember
year-
your eyes. Never mind, I'll do it. Yeah,
No, I can do
you'll
this.
tear up. You'll be a mess.
Last week we had John, the chili man, come on, and he says if you put this in ice, oh yes, we had some ice. Anyway, if you put it in ice long enough, that when you chop it, it doesn't make you cry.
Interesting. I
It
didn't
is
know
interesting.
that.
I'm not sure. I haven't practiced that yet. So.
I will tell you that if you like, we're cutting an onion here. So, and then that leaves your hands smelling like onion,
That's
and
right,
you can't
yeah.
get it off. So if you take a stainless steel knife blade and you put your hands on and run it under cold water, it absolutely will take the smell of the onion off.
Wow, that's
Kind of rub
nice.
your hand on the
So
blade.
you put your hand in cold water to start off with first.
Cold running water. So like you turn the tap on and it's running. Put the knife in there.
Oh,
Take
the
it,
knife.
and then you don't want to cut yourself, but you kind of rub your hand on the stainless steel while the cold water's running over.
Okay.
It'll take the onion smell right off.
Okay, we're going to test that right now after this, to see whether or not that's true, right?
Yeah.
Yes, because I want to know.
So we're gonna put
Does
that
work
in.
with garlic?
I don't know. I've never tried it with garlic.
Wow.
I should have garlic cloves in my house. I just should, and I never do. And I don't today. This is garlic clove is supposed to go into this, but again, don't have it. So I'm going to be using granulated garlic, not garlic salt. We want to control the amount of salt that we put in, so you don't add that with our spices. Okay, so we've got this in here,
Wow. That's
and
really
that
chopped,
is
just roughly.
roughly. Yep,
And
you're
if
right.
You all can see that. That is really chunky. So,
And we have our pot of boiling water for our pasta. I'm going to add some salt to that.
how much? Teaspoon?
Probably a teaspoon. And I'm going to add our pasta. So this is a pound of penne.
Okay.
I didn't make it today.
Can you buy this at Macey's? I'm
Yeah,
sure.
you can.
This is premium quality penne, normal pasta.
Yep. So we're going to put that in there. And I put in about a pound and a half.
Okay.
I think that'll give, I think I've got enough stuff to make sauce for that. So we're going to go with that. And then now that I've got the water up to a boil, I'm going to take the lid off because we don't want to have the pasta be mushy. So we'll just leave that off.
So you want it al dente.
I do. Well, we'll see if
Not
we can
too
get there.
squishy, just enough to get a crunch.
That's right.
I like that.
So now, if we get a light,
I like this bottle. See?
isn't that nice? No, we need the starter.
Olive oil. This is really good.
That is extra virgin olive oil.
Extra virgin. So what's the difference between extra virgin, pure virgin oil? I mean,
I was hoping you would
olive
ask.
oil.
I know the answer.
Okay, please let me know.
So extra virgin olive oil is olive oil from the first pressing. It's cold pressed.
Okay.
So they take those olives, they put it in a press, squish it out, collect that oil, and it's the very first pressing. Then it goes down from there.
Right.
So the grades of olive oil will go down from there. So
this is the purest.
It is. And it also has the strongest flavor. So if you don't like the flavor of olive oil,
Right.
then you wouldn't want to get this. But let me just tell you that as they take that down, so the second pressing would be like pure or virgin, not
Right.
extra virgin, but virgin olive oil. And then it's, pure olive oil, whatever.
Yeah.
So, but then you get down to where after I think it's 2 pressings, I could be wrong on that, but I think it's just 2. Then it's given up as much of the oil as it possibly can on its own.
Right.
So they start adding chemicals.
No.
Yeah, they do. So I never buy that.
No. So
And
you
I
have
like
here
the flavor.
extra virgin.
I do.
That's the
And you can see
purest.
the green color.
Yes.
That's what color it will
So
be.
usually it's in a dark bottle as well, isn't
Yes.
it? You put it in here.
Yes, I did.
Yeah. Oh,
Yep.
so there you go.
Yep.
That's what you need to get, not the cheap stuff.
Yeah, but it doesn't cost that much more, and it tastes so
No,
much better.
I
And
agree.
and if you don't like the taste of olive oil, then you should just work at learning to like it.
I think you're right. There you go. And you can get
So-
this at Macy's
You
at
can.
a reasonable price, okay?
That's right. So
true.
we've got the olive
So
oil
how much
in
did
there.
You put in there? I noticed that you're swirling it around and
I would have to. What is that? 2 tablespoons,
2
maybe.
tablespoons, yeah.
We may have to. We are going to be adding more. Now,
Okay.
I will tell you the traditional recipe for this dish. If you were an Italian mama, you would add,
not.
which I'm not either, but if you were, you would add probably at least 1/4 cup of olive oil here. You would end up adding about a cup, almost a cup of olive oil
Wow.
over the course of the dish. But what I find is that because I'm not used to eating that much fat, it gives me a stomachache. So this is a little bit Americanized. We're lightening it up. We're not putting as much oil in. Just enough to kind of cook these.
I remember when I used to live in France, they do big on extra virgin
Oh, are they?
oil. And so when they're making dressing, now they're pouring it over because it's healthy. And I'm like, moderation in all things.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I want to eat my food. I want to taste my food,
Yeah.
not the oil.
Right. Well, or not have it be the overwhelming primary
Right,
flavor.
exactly, yeah.
So some I'm going to put just I don't know, probably, what is that, a
Probably
teaspoon? Yeah, a little bit more. Then I'm going to put the lid on to kind of sweat those down and get it going. I can tell that this is starting to cook and it's starting to sweat down, but we're not there yet. And this is a recipe where I've used 6 bell peppers
Okay.
and 2 onions.
Okay.
So it's really one of those things where you say, how many people am I going to feed?
Right.
So how much do I have to make? And you could just kind of scale it up or down because it's not like baking where you need more precision. It's cooking and you can kind of fudge.
Right.
So you just look and you say,
Depending on how many people
yeah,
are present.
and how big they are of eaters. You know what I mean? Like
Like your husband here.
Yes,
I
like
mean,
my
I
husband.
think Ken, come and show yourself. This is a perfect American.
This is my
This
bed.
is all right, a well-fed American. And
Great.
so for this will be for
Ken.
2 Kens, right?
Two
I
Kens.
mean,
Well, not quite, but
No.
yes. And he's awesome. And I have to say, everybody has a personal preference.
absolutely.
I like him with a little meat,
I
so
think that's great.
that's all right.
No, I think it's great. I
Yeah.
love food. I really do. I don't look like I love food, but I really do. And I'm really excited about what you're cooking today. So what are you going to
That's
do
gonna
with
be
the
fun.
sausages?
So, did you get those peeled?
No, I just got them out of the bag.
Okay, they need to be peeled.
What do you mean,
It's
peeled?
wonderful
I need the
to have
casing
this
off.
Relationship
Yeah.
with couples here at life.
He got him out of the bag for me. Thought he was done. No. Mm-mm.
No.
So why
No,
do we have
so-
to take the skin off? Even though
Because we want to. So the sausage there is a spicy Italian sausage, which is
Okay.
what you want to use.
it's- Of course.
Not breakfast sausage.
Oh, okay.
That will not taste right. And
So it actually says Italian
uh-huh,
sausage.
yeah,
Okay.
and that's the style as opposed to it's not really made in Italy, but it's the style of sausage.
Right.
So we want to.
Didn't go to Italy this week
No,
to
we
get
didn't.
it?
We didn't fly it in and have it imported. But we want to have it in like bits.
Okay.
So now this is another change, I should say,
Okay.
because a traditional Italian, from what I've heard from my son,
Right.
is that it would be almost like a meatball. You know what I mean? You'd have chunks of meat. But then when you're eating it, that means that when you're dipping in, you may just be getting pasta and sauce.
Right.
If you break that all apart, then you're getting pasta, meat, and sauce with every bite.
Oh.
So I want the flavor to be throughout the sauce instead of just in little bits and
Okay.
pieces.
If you don't take out the skin.
Yeah, then you'd have to kind of slice it or something like that. So we're going to remove the casing on the sausage, and that way when we cook the sausage, we'll be able to.
Meaning me.
We meaning Ken.
We should have him come and show us how to do that. I mean, it's
Yeah,
almost
quite
like
yeah, honey.
peeling a tomato.
Where am I at?
Yeah, right there.
Just stand right here and show
I
everybody.
just broke off the end, just turned my knife upside down and
No, we're not all experts in using the knife, but he's doing it very
like that.
manly. But you can
And
use
then
a smaller
just-
knife, right?
Yeah,
Is
you
that
can.
right?
Pops out.
Yep.
There you go.
In fact, when I do it, I use a paring knife because it's a little less
I couldn't find another
unwieldy.
knife.
I know. That's my knife that I brought, and I didn't bring a
okay,
paring knife,
right.
so, Anyway, so that's what I like to do. The
So children
sausage,
can't do that, really.
I would recommend that.
That's right. Okay.
That'll be dangerous.
Just need to have that, small print.
That's
Don't
true.
have-
That's true. I didn't think about that. All my kids are a little older, but your kids are tiny. Yeah, you kids, do not touch. Do not touch the knife. That's bad. Yep. So traditionally, they would probably stick more just to the red peppers, but these other colored peppers are great, and they taste fine. I love them, and especially in the summertime when it's from my garden.
Oh, we're coming over.
You're coming
Thanks so
over. Yeah,
much.
that's right.
I love having Michelle as my name. Like,
It is time to take this pasta off
Wonderful.
and dump that water, honey.
So now, Ken, what is Ken going to do?
Ken is going to strain the pasta out. So he's going to dump this bowl of pasta into a colander
Okay.
and take the water out. It is al dente.
Okay.
We don't want it to get beyond that.
So,
So-
that's just beyond firm.
Oh, see, I don't need to do that.
You don't need to
'cause
do
I
that.
can
Right.
Just dump the whole thing.
Yeah. So pasta, when you overcook it, as you know,
Yes.
kind of blows out and it becomes this mushy, it almost falls apart in your mouth. It's not very good.
Okay.
So you want to cook it, and I think most Americans do cook it that way.
Al dente, yes.
They cook it till it's blown out. They cook
That's
it mushy.
right, mushy.
And we don't want to do that. And honey, can you? Oh, you're going to put it back in here for me? Okay, that's good. Yes.
Isn't that,
Yeah.
isn't that just about 5 to 7 minutes when you're cooking pasta to create
Probably.
that? Yeah.
It also depends on how thick the pasta is. So penne, which is what we have today, is a sturdier pasta. If you had like angel hair, you couldn't. It would be like, I don't know, 3 minutes or something. Even spaghetti. So you kind of want to adjust it. Yeah. And in Italy, they call, like if you were going to have a dish, they would say penne with red pepper sauce.
Right.
Or they would say spaghetti with a meat sauce or a bolognese or whatever. So they're identifying the pasta by name, and then they tell you what else is.
Going to be added.
Yeah.
Right.
And we call it, like if we say spaghetti, everybody goes, oh, I know what that is. It's the noodly thing with the red tomato sauce stuff.
Yeah.
But if you were in Italy and you said spaghetti, they'd go, and if you said that, they would think literally you're coming to the table with a plate of cooked spaghetti noodles. That's it.
No sauce. Or
No
anything.
sauce, yeah.
That's good, yeah.
So you have to, if you're an Italian, you're gonna say the pasta and then identify what you're gonna do with it.
Sauce
Yeah.
you can add to it.
Yep.
That looks beautiful. The colours are just.
They're getting brighter, aren't they?
They are.
They are really pretty.
And I like that combination, the red, the orange, and the
Isn't
yellow.
it pretty? It is beautiful. So now we're gonna help bring it along.
Okay, should I
You need that over there?
Yeah. We're gonna be adding, our cans of tomato sauce. I will need a bowl though, Ken.
The amount that you have in there, how many? Are you
I've got
going to
6 cans of tomato sauce, and I sure hope that's enough. Again, this is a dish that I'm more engaged by what's going on, like what I want to do, than then how you're scaling it, right?
Okay,
So-
big question. Why tomato sauce as opposed to a can of
I need
stewed
water in
tomatoes?
this. Okay, so, oh good, there's one more, I'm so glad. When you have stewed tomatoes, or tomatoes, as you say it,
Speak louder so my children can hear, sorry.
your mother speaks perfect English because she's from England.
It's
And
not
all,
tomato, it's tomato.
Right.
It's just like I would say potatoes.
yes, and you
Right.
say herb, you get that
And I
H in
say
there.
herb. Gonna have
So-
herbal tea today.
Exactly.
Okay, anyway,
Um,
yes.
yeah. So, and the reason that I can say that, wow, that's weird. That's the same amount of water in different amounts. Did you see that?
I did see that.
I feel like someone's cheaping out on the can size there.
That's right, look at that.
Okay, so I need the garbage over here. Your, perfect, we're done. Back to the tomato stew,
That's
whatever.
right. What's
Okay.
the difference between the stew
So,
and this?
there is a big difference actually. Give me a rag, would you? Stewed tomatoes are, no, a wet one, are tomatoes that have been, the skin is slipped off,
Okay.
and usually they've had the core taken out. And then they are, at that point, if you're buying, store-bought ones, then they're just going to be put into the can and processed. That's all there is. If you buy diced, they're going to have diced them
Right.
and then put them into the can.
Exactly.
So when you think about what's happened to that tomato, it's really not a lot, right? That means that the flavors are not really concentrated. The amount of tomato, if you were to take, let's say that a traditional can holds 4 Roma tomatoes,
Right.
and you were to take that and puree it down and then put it in the can, it would compress,
Right.
and there would be space. So the tomato sauce has actually been pureed. The seeds are either pureed or taken out. And then it is cooked to reduce the amount of water that is naturally present in the tomato.
Right.
So the flavor is different, the concentration of the amount of tomatoes is different, and tomato sauce and tomato paste have flavor compounds in them that give things a richer, fuller, in some cases even a more meaty flavor. So when we use the tomato sauce, we're going to get a different flavor profile, and it will be thicker, which we want this to be a thick pasta. We want it to be thick enough to really coat that pasta and stay on instead of watery, which,
Right.
think about it, stewed tomato and you put it on the pasta,
does,
it's going to be
yes.
very watery,
Yeah.
it'll slide off. Now the other thing is tomato paste. So you've taken that same process
Right.
of the tomato sauce, and then you've reduced it even further, so there's even less water. So you have more concentrated flavor again and all that. In this case, that flavor profile is just overwhelming.
Okay.
And so when we're done
Yeah.
with this, it's going to have some acidity from the tomatoes, which is good, but what you're really going to get is the pepper, and it's going to really shine, and the pepper's going to transform as cooked peppers do. If you notice, raw peppers have a particular flavor. There's a sweetness to it, but there's also almost a little bit of bitterness. Have you noticed that with the peppers?
just a little
So when you cook them, it sweetens them up, it takes the bitterness away, and then they often develop what comes across as almost a brightness or a little bit of an acidity to it that you really don't get when you're eating them fresh too much,
Right.
And this is going to make that sauce really shine. Okay, so now we're getting into this is where we're going to kind of really start to pull the sauce together.
Okay, I'll just stand back here, you know, 'cause
You should. This can get to
I
be.
love the way you're wearing white. That's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah, this is probably a bad choice. I probably should have worn black. So what I'm doing is I'm using a stick blender. You can't really use a blender.
Oh, okay.
You can't use a blender because it's going to take the sauce to a perfectly smooth consistency. We don't want that. We're going to maintain a certain amount of texture in it, and you could maybe use a food processor like a Cuisinart.
Okay.
Those are the only two things that, well, you can't use the one. You might be able to use a Cuisinart, but you really need a stick blender. And you always ask me when I come on, and I'm bringing different pieces of equipment, what do you do if you don't? I'm like, buy one. So that's what I would say here too, because it really, and you can see we had gone from chunky.
That's
Are
right.
we still getting this on? Can people see this? Okay, so can you see this? As I dish through this, we're getting some big chunks, so we want to get rid of those.
Okay.
But the whole thing needs to look like that, right?
Exactly.
And
So it's not smooth,
No.
it's still that
texture.
texture.
Yeah.
Probably it's still a crunch to the thing.
I don't know. By the time we're done, it won't.
Okay.
But it won't be smooth either. It's never going to get to be smooth, and that's not what we're shooting for. So if you have kids that freak out with texture, you're going to have to work with them. Send them to occupational therapy and have them help them overcome. Occupational therapist?
Yeah, children.
Oh, yes, we have children. We do. We do have children. Okay, so I'm going to get busy down here at the bottom because I can feel that there's quite a bit. We're just going to go to town on this, and I am impressed that I haven't splattered it everywhere, which I very frequently do. So, and then we're going to give it a little bit of a, see, oh, that's looking good. Okay, do you see that? I think we're there.
There's one more.
We have a little, okay, come on. I don't actually mind those that are still a little bit tricky. I'm going to hand that back over to
So this
you.
is called a stick blender. Okay, very nice one.
Yep.
I'm not going to say about Macy's.
No, they don't do the equipment there. So what we have here, if you can see that, is definitely, I hope that's showing up, it's definitely not a smooth sauce.
Right.
But at the same time, we don't have, you know,
The chunks.
big chunks, yep. So we're good. We're good to go. This is going to be, Ken, you tell me, will all of this fit in there? Or should we do the other bowl?
That one for
Okay.
sure.
I have no skill when it comes to judging.
Whether it's something.
Yeah, I can't at all. So Ken always, that's why he puts the food away for me after we eat. This is going to splash, so stand back.
Okay. Well,
We're
I'm
going to
ready.
splash it
I'm
towards
okay.
you folks.
I'm good.
So if it splashes, it lands on hopefully somebody, not me.
Okay.
Okay, it's kind of getting everywhere. Yeah, it is. I didn't think I could make it all the way.
Done.
Yep, and now we're going to get the last little bits of this out. And that's great. And it looks awesome. Awesome. I'm definitely going to have to do the OxyClean on this, aren't I? All right, so now we're going to get the heat back up here. And I think we have enough. This is the place where in the traditional dish you would be adding a lot, like a half a cup of oil. We're not doing that.
Oh, so you're going to use the oil from the sausage.
Yeah, and this sausage actually is fairly, even though it's sausage, it's fairly lean, yeah. So there tends to not be, you know, a teaspoon maybe, like pretty much nothing. No, I think we'll have enough. If we don't, we'll have to add some, but I think we're going to be okay. We're going to just cook up this sausage and see how I'm breaking this apart.
Yeah.
So we're getting it out of its link form.
Okay.
And we're getting it broken up because again, in the traditional recipe, you would have little chunks of meat, but we want to have that flavor through the whole dish.
So how long would you do that for?
Breaking it up?
Yeah.
Oh, you have to do it the whole time. You can't, yeah, because the protein, as it's worked, gets sticky. And then if you cook it, it kind of solidifies in whatever. So in reality, if I kind of broke this down like this and then walked away, I would end up with a sausage patty the size of the bottom of the pan. And it would be kind of one solid thing. I don't want that to happen. So we're gonna.
How long did you have this on cooking for? Then you judge that. 20 minutes, half an hour.
Probably not a half an hour. Was it? Probably 30? I don't know.
You cook it down.
That's the problem. As we've kind of talked to a little bit in the past, I really like to cook. So when I go in, it's just like a time warp. I don't even think about what's going on. I'm just kind of cooking away. I'm in my zone.
People at home or here in the audience, if they're cooking this themselves, how are they going to judge whether or not it's ready?
Good question.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a great, and I have an answer, which it's good you asked that.
Okay.
They'll know that it's done when they take a fork, and you probably saw me stabbing some of the, holding the peppers up on the spoon and stabbing them. And when the fork slid into the pepper easily, yep. That doesn't mean that the fork is going to go all the way through the skin, because the skin is a lot tougher, you know. So in fact, I even flipped one over, and then I poked it, and it slid in really easily. The stick blender will take care of the peel, so it's fine, and it's going to be cooked plenty. So yes, that's when you know, when you can just stab it, and yep, and it's good to go. Yep. So, and then we're going to add our sauce back into this, and if you look at this, I mean, there's basically, there's just a little bit, but
Little hint of
yeah.
in there.
Well, and as far as oil goes, there's not much.
Right, not
There's
much,
a little
yeah.
bit, but not much. And I'm not going to dump that out, even though normally I do drain
That's
any kind of
okay, yeah.
fat off. But we want, it's very little, and we want to capture that flavor into the sauce.
It looks good.
So,
That was easy. So you wouldn't get this effect if you kept the skin on, would you?
no, because
Okay.
it would not break apart at all. And
Then it'll have the skin bits in there, right?
yeah, I just don't even, the casing isn't made to fall apart even when you cook it. So it's just going to hold that and get cooked with it, and you're going to have a sausage link. And then what you would have to do is take it out, slice it, put it back, and you'd have the kind of chunks of meat. But again, that's not tradition. It is traditional, but it's not what I want. But would you put that in the sink? And then can you give me my other?
Not what you want.
It is not what I want. No.
Your other,
We're going to get the spatula here. So now that we have cooked this to bits, there's no pink left, so I think we're good. But and the spoon has been in there cooking it, but I'm still going to get
Use
a
this
different utensil.
Okay.
So, and now we're going to dump this in and try not to splash everywhere. It's hard to do. Hard to not do, I should say. So,
Beautiful. And it all fits.
mhm.
And
We're going to turn this down just a little bit because we don't want to have it cook out over the top.
smells great.
And we're not done yet, but we're getting there. So we're going to add some,
What's that?
it's garlic granules, again, no salt, because I should, this is like almost sacrilege, I should have garlic cloves, and I should have used
Right.
fresh garlic, I should have. But it's not something I typically have.
If you had the garlic cloves, how many would you use?
It's really to taste. So if you want a lot of garlic, if you're like a big garlic eater, then maybe so a head is the whole,
Right.
and then you peel it, and each one of those little buds is a clove. So I probably 4.
Oh, okay. 4 cloves.
Mhm.
And would you press it or
Yeah.
what would you do?
Yep.
Mince it. Mince.
With a little garlic
With a
press or
garlic
cut it,
press,
whatever.
Yeah.
And then you don't want to fry that up too much.
Okay.
So what you would do is you would add it right before you add the tomato sauce.
Okay.
So like maybe a minute or 2 before you add, because if you cook garlic a lot, it'll get bitter. So I can tell I need a little bit more,
Did not know that.
little bit more garlic in there because I want to have a little bit
I
more
noticed
garlic
you didn't
flavor.
have you added any salt?
Not yet.
Are you going to? I'm sure you are.
I don't know if I will. We'll see. I probably am going to add a little bit, but I am not being a very good
But
little person here.
I think it's marvelous.
I tried not to get any sausage pieces, but try that.
Okay.
It's already pretty darn good.
Oh,
Yeah.
That is good.
And see,
Ooh,
you can taste the
heavenly.
peppers, can't you?
You can.
And they're the flavor. I mean, there's spices
Wow.
there, but you really do get that pepper.
Yeah.
So for kids who don't like pepper, you'll like this. It really is
Love
okay.
it.
And then traditionally, we want it to have some heat. So we're going to add some pepper flakes to amp up the heat. And it depends on how hot you want it to get. You just add more. I don't want it to blow the roof off. Because here's the thing, too.
What was this?
Those are
Oh,
crushed red pepper flakes, yep. So for me, heat should be a component. I don't like cuisines. I don't like any cuisine that has the heat in it so hot that that's all you taste.
That's right.
Because I'm not here to burn my mouth off and give me a terrible stomach ache.
That's right.
I want to taste the food, but sometimes you want a little heat, you know?
A little bit.
So I don't know how you feel about that. That's my
Oh,
philosophy.
I agree with that.
So,
I agree with you. I don't want to be crying.
Uh-huh.
I don't want to be suffering.
right,
I just want that slight bit
right.
of spice in my mouth.
Yeah, and there are some cuisines where it can get pretty darn hot. So if you do happen to put in too many pepper flakes and you're thinking, oh, good heavens, this is going to kill me,
Yes.
the antidote to heat from spice is dairy, and we're going to add some dairy to this in a minute. We're going to let this kind
So
of,
you know, I'm going to ask you the next question. Can you use another alternative if
To
it's
cream?
not dairy? In place you are,
Uh,
lactose intolerant.
intolerant.
That's right. Or-
Oh, what? So the problem with things like almond milk and all that kind of stuff is that in order to make it so people would want to eat it, they're adding something that makes it, or it has sugars in it, but they
Right.
also oftentimes will add vanilla or other notes. We don't want. This is not a dessert.
You
you
can
know
get
what I
the
mean?
unsweetened.
So
almond.
that's what I would maybe
Yeah.
try. I've not tried it before. I'm sure it's going to change
Just
things.
alternatives, you
But
know.
yeah, if you are lactose intolerant, then you have to try these other things. I don't know. Is there soy milk?
There's soy milk.
Is that almond milk is better?
I like that.
Okay. So maybe if it was,
Coconut milk. How about that? That has a. But I think that'd be good for you.
it might. It might.
Can be a useful.
I don't think you would taste the coconut because you've got
Yeah.
enough flavor going on.
Right.
It might be okay. It might be
Yeah.
the best. I don't know.
I think so.
You should try it.
Okay.
You should bake this and you should try it, and you can put like turkey or chicken in there.
That's
We have a
right.
chunk in there. I missed a chunk. I didn't know where that saw that, but it's okay because
All you
I love it. I love the chunks. So now traditionally what we would do here is we would let this cook for 30 to 45 minutes or something.
Wow.
Just really to let those flavors kind of get nice and friendly. I think in the biz they say marry the flavors. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add some cream because this is how it's
Did
done.
you get this here?
You can get whipped cream here, yeah. Daragold for sure. Like I said, though, I buy everything in kind of industrial quantities. And and we're going to put in probably, that was about a third of a cup, but I bet you it's going to be a half a cup by the time we're done. And it will change
The color.
the color.
Oh.
And then we
And
have
Italians like this?
oh yes,
Oh,
yep, they sure do.
I did not know that.
Yep. They don't have cream cheese
Oh,
in Italy, so no cheesecake,
no cheesecake.
no cheesecake.
That's okay.
But they do have whipping cream. And they have apparently tons of fresh vegetables and fresh fruits and everything. And this dish is more common in the southern, where they do more tomato-based products,
Right.
than in the northern, the Alfredo, which is a bechamel, right?
Bechamel.
With
Yes.
cheese.
Bechamel
That's more
sauce.
from the north.
Oh, okay.
So we've done south, we've done north.
Oh, that's it.
We're getting all over Italy.
We are.
Yep.
Do some better French cooking too, you know?
That's true.
Oh la la.
Yes. And you can translate because you speak French.
Absolutely. Yes.
All right, so now I'm going to see if I've got enough cream in there.
Wow.
I think it needs a little bit more and maybe a
So
splash
right
of
now,
salt.
this will probably be about half cup, right?
Yeah, I think
for
we're
that amount.
I think we're about there.
Sauce.
Yeah. So it's not a ton. It isn't a ton. And can you grab the salt for me?
Absolutely.
And we're going to just put a sprinkle in.
Kosher salt.
Mm-hmm. If I had sea salt, I would do sea salt.
Himalayan salt, that would be good.
Yeah. And that's because when they process salt, not like the sea salt,
Yeah.
it can get kind of a metallic flavor. It can, it can change. Because salt, even though it's salty, can have different flavor profiles as well, as you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So,
And so what's the difference between this and the sea salt?
well, in this case, this is actually kosher. So if you were Jewish, as we talked about, this would be a good choice. But no, actually, kosher salt, this is pretty interesting.
Yes.
Table salt doesn't dissolve. It's very small granules. It kind of sits on the surface. This will actually dissolve, and then it kind of, so like steak.
Yeah.
You always want to use kosher salt on your steak instead of table salt because it will melt with the natural liquids on the steak before you grill it, and then it just kind of coats that and flavors it, and it's much better.
Oh.
If you're not going to use sea salt, then use kosher salt. Yep. And use kosher salt in your dishes is better than table salt. Table salt's pretty harsh, So
Table salt really is. No. Think.
there are better things.
Yes,
They're
that's
better
right.
things.
Alternatives, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Is it good? Do I get a taste now?
Mm.
Is it good? Oh.
That makes
I
me
love
want to
that
cry.
the cook loves their food.
That's good. That's something worth eating, I think.
Oh, wow.
Was that? Now,
Yeah, she's even blushing.
I have to say,
It's so good.
it's
Wow.
like a party in your mouth because you taste it, and all of a sudden your taste buds just go and do a happy dance.
They do.
And there's the acid, there's the sweet, there's the salty. I mean, it's hitting all of your tongue is going. Wah! It's awesome. Okay, so now
So true.
we're gonna dish it up, and you're gonna try it. Oh yeah, we're gonna do that.
Drink too. Wow.
Yeah, I thought I would do Italian sodas, which are American.
So is your son here? Is he?
He is actually in Michigan,
Oh.
and he is working on his. He's working towards a PhD in history,
Okay.
in medieval Italian and Renaissance history, to be precise. Where's the cheese?
And when is he coming home?
In like 5 years when he finally graduates.
Oh, okay.
Long time, unfortunately. I need tongs or
Wow,
something.
look at that. That
And
is beautiful.
Afua, you've got to grab a fork or something. Again, I'm buying the Parmesan in the industrial container here.
I tried to loosen it up.
So, and we do, Parmesan is great.
This is way better than the stuff that you get in a little.
In the little jar, yeah.
Oh my goodness, just look at that.
Isn't it? It's so good. It's one of my very favorite dishes.
That is beautiful.
So we have the seltzer, right? We're going to do the Italian soda.
Okay. We have these.
Oh. Again, this one isn't Italian. It's kind of like French fries, which are not French.
Right.
So, do you mind if I use my hands? Are you going to freak out? Okay.
Good. She washed
They're-
her hands previously.
They're, yes, mostly clean. Ah,
Love it. Ooh.
I
Not that I'm a drinker,
always
you
bring
know.
the dishes, right?
That's right.
So,
Still stuck in my house. So
okay,
this is called what?
it's an Italian soda, but it's, like I said, it's, kind of an American.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Uh,
Has the right name.
that's right. Is that the real name they call it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Italian soda. Woo! Woohoo!
I did not shake that up. I
Bouncing
just,
around in the car on the way over.
oh my heavens. So, and I'm using seltzer water instead of club soda because club soda has, it has soda, it has salt, has potassium and a bunch of other things in it, which make it,
A different taste.
oh yeah, I think it's really vile and nasty.
Okay.
People who are used to drinking it, they love it, but it's like salty, fizzy water. Who would want to drink that?
No.
So,
No.
this
Not me.
is just sparkling water.
Marvelous.
So we're going to do this. Hang on.
This is so beautiful, isn't it? Have a
And-
look at that.
And I don't drink it yet.
Oh,
I don't ever. Hand me that orange stuff. I don't ever drink carbonated. You know how I feel about that.
Yes.
So this would be like a very
like an occasion, like right now.
Yes, like right now.
Celebrating.
Mandarin orange. I figured that'd be a good flavor.
So what is this? This is a syrup of some sort.
Yep. And I don't know if I have enough in there because I'm just guessing,
Can
frankly.
you get this at Macey's?
I think you can.
And when would you use this? I've never seen this. Anyway, what is
It's called Da Vinci Gourmet Fruit Innovations Syrups, specially created for cold beverages. Simply stir in to add flavor.
Not bad.
So yeah,
Sugars
sugar, and it does have
ingredients.
natural flavors, and I think it even has some juice. So now, to make it the Italian soda,
It just looks perfect. You like
isn't it?
that?
It's
That's
so
gonna
pretty.
add some more. Ooh.
Yeah, so don't freak out. It's okay. It's okay. Just remember that it's a celebration.
Oh,
Right?
absolutely.
So you're
We
supposed to
get to
pour it
celebrate.
over the back of the spoon.
Oh. Wow. That is beautiful.
Okay, it is pretty, but this isn't how we're going to drink it. It is pretty. But then see, if I had a little swizzle stick, I would swizzle this
Okay.
stick. Otherwise, you're just kind of doing this thing,
Okay.
and hopefully,
It's going to all mix up together.
and kind of be like a creamsicle.
Oh. It's fantastic.
Okay.
Yes.
I hope there's enough syrup
we
in
say
there.
cheers?
Yep. Cheers.
Cheers. Oh no, you gotta hit the glass.
Don't break my glass. That's pretty good.
Even my children are like, oh, what's that?
That's pretty good.
That is good. I like that.
Okay.
You get the carbonation with
A little bit. You got to try that and tell me what you think.
Wow, that is delicious. Delicious, delicious. Here we go. Well, another hit, I have to say, okay? Now here we go. I'm going to add some of the pasta, the meat,
And some of
the
this cheese. Yeah, you got to get the cheese in there.
Goodness. Here we
And wait for the party.
go. Okay.
Wait for the party in your mouth. Because it is good.
Oh, yeah. That is. I love that mix. It's still fresh, that crunch. This is perfect. I wouldn't cook it down anymore, for me personally.
Yeah, I think
I
it's
like
really
it.
good.
The flavors all come out. It's not too much or anything. And it's not even spicy.
There's a
Actually,
little bit,
a
but
little bit,
not so much that
yeah,
makes you,
over-
yeah.
overpowering.
Right.
Delicious. What a
That's how you do it.
marvelous-
If
Thank
you're not in
you.
Italy.
That's right. Well, thank you so much, Michelle.
You're welcome.
And the drink, that goes well with that. So would you continue mixing it up?
Yeah, if you had a swizzler, but it'll, as you tip it back,
As
it'll
it will just go
gonna
back
come
down.
through there. So, all right, we're done.
Well, wait. I want to tell my audience again.
Get over there.
I was gonna get me a plate. I want to eat.
Oh, well, before we all eat, I've got a bit of ice in my mouth. Just want to say thank you to everyone that's here in the Spanish Book for the cooking show. And it's been a delight to have Michelle here in our studios again. Thank you so much for this wonderful pepper pasta and what was this called
Italian
again?
soda.
Italian soda. Cheers to you all. I hope to see more of you here. And bon appetit. Thank you.